Anyone who has worked with a client would likely agree that expectation management through clear deliverables and good communication are crucial to a successful project. It's only natural that as a client you want to know where your money's going, what's being worked on, and most importantly, when are you going to get your product. My purpose with this video is to share with you today what you can expect from me. My process generally fits into 6 overarching steps. First, meet with the client. Second, do some research and create a mood board. Third, draft up some sketches. Fourth, digitize the best sketches. Fifth, refine and polish the client's favorite version. And then sixth, take that version and convert it into a branding guide. Step 1 is the client brief. Here's where my research actually begins. I like to meet with the client and get to know them a bit. I like to find out everything I can about the product or service that they offer. I then also like to ask where in the branding process they are. Am I creating a new brand? Am I taking an existing brand and redesigning it? Or maybe they have a product line that I'm creating a sub-brand for. This is also when I will go ahead and set up guidelines and deliverables so that they know what to expect from me, and find out if they have any preferences as to what I should include in the brand, maybe fonts or colors or even shapes. I can't guarantee that they'll be in the final product, but if I know what they're interested in, what they like, I can try and work it in. Secondary objectives that are easier to find out directly from the client rather than personal research is the target audience, and also any previous branding or advertisement materials they may have had. Step 2, research and mood boarding. Here is where I gather all my ideas and inspirations. I like to put images, shapes, textures, colors, fonts, and sometimes even a word list that represent what I want the design to say. To me, obviously, the mood board is more than just an inspiration box. It's also something that I can share with the client so that they can check off and make sure I am going down the same path that they want the design to be. Step 3, sketching drafts. This is where I look at the mood board for inspiration and then try and sketch out everything that comes to mind. All designs are valid, I just want to empty my mind, get everything onto a piece of paper. I'll then generally take a break from it for an afternoon or maybe come back the next day and then try and push for 2 or 3 more sketches. And these often end up being the most creative and the most useful. Step 4, digitization and refinement. This is my favorite part. I pick the best 3 or maybe 4 designs, and then I scan them into the computer for digitization. I bring them into Illustrator and recreate all the paths in vector form. This is when I then start to see the images really come to life. I'll take a little break, come back after lunch, do another iteration of each one, and then another, and eventually I have 3 or 4 versions of each design. Once I have the designs 90% of the way there, I'll generally output them into PDFs and try and meet with the client to get some feedback. Step 5, final changes and polishing. This is where I take the feedback from the client and use their favorite logo with any last-minute changes. I polish it off to make sure it looks good in monochrome black and white, as well as in color. Make sure it looks good large and small for both print and digital versions. And sometimes if they want embroidery, make sure that it'll convert to that well too. And finally, step 6 wraps it up with the branding guide. This is where the client gets the final version of the logo, and a guide that explains what font is used with, what kind of spacing it should have, what color palette it has, and when to use a monochrome version of the logo.